Hi there, it's Sandra here from Create in Spain, and today I'm doing a pretty simple lighting up Christmas card. But it is switchable, so if someone wants to switch it on and off and leave it on or off, they can, but it's a really simple way of doing it. Now in the file you'll find the card base, which is going to be something like this. What I haven't done is put the hole, or the positioning I should say, for the LED, because that depends on where you put your printing cup on the front of the card. So this is the basic printing cup that I've got, and I drew this one myself. And when you've decided where you want to put your tree, because you might want to put it to one side, you might want to add other elements and move it, then you put it on top of the base and then you mark where the bulb needs to go. I'm going to cut it down a bit. It just makes it easier to use. Right, so this comes off. And just take the backing from the tape. All right, so it goes from where the battery is, like that, and just put it straight up. Now it's easier to put a light bulb of the type that I've got on a piece of copper tape that is just being cut with a gap, rather than trying to fold it and make the folds match up. So what I'm going to do is put that to one side. I am going to make a mark like so. I can always rub it out if I need to, but I'm going to fold that backwards, then fold it forwards, and make sure that I hold this tape directly over where the lamp needs to be, with the tape central. So just about there will do just fine. So I can bring it away from there, and then I can relax because I've got it where I need it to be. And I can just take this tape however I want to take it down, but I want it to go to the bottom right hand corner where this slit is. I want it to go in the right hand corner of that slit. That is important for the switch point of view. Okay, so there we are. That goes there. Now you can start it off the other way, and actually, because there's a slit that can be cut there, you can actually poke it through the slit and round the back if you wish to. In this particular case, I'm simply going to tear it off. And you want to take a bone folder and simply press the copper tape down in place. Now I know where I have to put my slit for my light bulb, so I'm going to do a very narrow slit, just either side of that line, and pick away the copper tape like so. Now the next bit is to do placing of the battery. So like so, and as you can see, it stays put quite nicely. And then I need some copper tape to go from the top of that along here with a small gap. So I'm just going to take another piece of my tape. Now this one I'm not going to bother to cut down because I haven't got to do any complicated turns or anything. So I'm just going to use it as is. Now because this isn't a conductive backing on here, I'm going to double it over for the piece that goes over the battery, so that copper meets copper, like so. Place it down like that, and now I can pull that back in the opposite direction, flatten it, and then I can put the tape across here and just break off the last bit. Smooth this down. Now, as you can see, there is a gap here, and we'll zoom in a bit more so you can see it better. There we go. There is a gap. You don't need much of a gap, you just need a gap. And generally what I do is put a little bit of sticky tape over the top of the battery. Like so, so that I know the battery isn't going to move and the copper tape will conduct nicely because it is actually attached. So what I need to do now is to test my circuit. Snip a bit of this off just to test it. Now my light bulb is this thing here, and I don't know which way round it has to go at the moment, so this is going to be trial and error. So place it over that, use a piece of copper tape to complete the circuit, and that's not doing anything. Turn it around the other way, place it. There we go, once it's stuck down it will light up. So that can be placed there. And there we are. As soon as that contacts, we're done. So now for the actual switch, I've included two different designs for the switch. There's one design which is longer than this one. It folds in a very similar manner, but it's designed so that if you do thread your copper tape through the slit on the sides, it will contact back and front. This one is just contacting on the front. So it's folded in half, the wings come out, and then these wings fold over on themselves. And you want to cover the base of this with a copper tape. So place that over the base, and I can trim off the sides. I only need it to go just around the corner. Don't need it to do anything else. There we are. So that's the completed switch. And so when this is on the left position, it's off. Hang on a second, I need to zoom out so you can see the whole thing. There we go. So left position is off. As it slides over to the other side, it switches on. So left off, right on. Now on the front of the card, you can stamp on and off if you feel it's necessary, or you can actually have something else on the top of your switch. If you do a flat version, so it's the other version where you have like a butterfly. Have I got one to hand? Ah, here, I think that's one of those. Okay, let's show you how this type works. Okay. Right, so with this one, you have basically like an X shape. And what happens is that two of those pieces go through the slit, and this is going to be quite a tight fit because I've made a very close slit there, and then you would have it so that it opens out on the back and on the front virtually identically, and then that side obviously would have the copper tape on it. Now the advantage of doing this one is that you can add something else on the front. So you have the choice, you can do it either way. It doesn't make any difference really. And I've included that little pattern in the file as well as the shorter one. So all we need to do now to make this card front, you need to make sure that you've got this in position, and you need to make sure when you put your tape or your foam tape, because I've got a fairly thin battery, I could actually get away without putting foam tape in here, just about, okay? I wouldn't have to put foam tape on, I could just use a normal double-sided tape. But you need to make sure, and this is the reason why I've got this pencil line in here, that wherever you put your tape does not interfere with the running of that switch. You've never guessed what I've done. I've gone and put it on upside down. Oh, good heavens. I did precisely what I said not to do. I didn't make sure the switch was in place. So I decided that I would take it to pieces. I managed to take it to pieces without wrecking the front. First time round anyway. And I cut it down a little bit because I found a scrap piece of card and it wasn't quite the right size, so I trimmed it down a bit and I thought, okay, I'll just mount it on a card, and would you believe it, I've just gone and put it on upside down. Oh heavens, it is one of those days. Hopefully I might be able to rectify this because I've just got a cross of tape and I think I might just about get away with it if I'm lucky. Phew, I've got away with it. I can't believe I did that. Anyway, I used the copper tape because it's quite cheap. I've got a lot of it, and because I've got some new stuff coming which I'm hoping is better, I used the copper tape to just trim the edge of a card base. So now I'm going to put it back on, and I'm going to put some more tape on there and make sure I get it up the right way this time. Oh, I can't believe that. That is such a stupid mistake to make. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. But I was determined I wasn't going to waste that effort in making the card. So there we go. Now it is up the right way. Yay. And it lights up. Phew. Right, so I've not finished yet. My intention, I cut out a second print and cut of this cat, and my intention is to mount it over the top on foam so it's slightly raised, with the idea that the light will shine around the star rather than straight through it in a hole. At least I'm not likely to put that on upside down. My friend Alison is going to be laughing her head off at this. She loves it when I make mistakes. She said it makes me seem human. I said, well, I am human anyway. I'm always making mistakes. She said, yeah. She said, but I don't often see them. So here is the finished card. I've put the print and cut on top, and I've put loads of gems over where the baubles were. Probably can't see them too well in this light. I added a hand cut piece of card for the tub for the Christmas tree. I cut out a little speech bubble that says "Got it" for the cat on the top who's got the star. And you might notice I've done some colouring in the background. This is okay, but it's purely accidental. I forgot that, of course, I was using photographic card for the front and went to use inks on it and thought, there might be a bit of a problem here. And then I thought I'd go for some kind of distressed look, and I thought I'll put some of my Pearl-Ex on it. But it doesn't actually adhere to this that well. Even though I used glycerin and stuff, it doesn't adhere that brilliantly, so I didn't get as much on there as I wanted. But I've got this kind of funny distressed look, and that's fine. And it lights up beautifully. And it's really nice because the cat is holding the star and it lights up around the star as well as through the star itself. So I'm rather pleased with that. Thanks for watching. Take care now. Bye bye.